Morning, everyone. I'm Janice Pecoraro, and I'm here with Joe, my partner. Hi, Joe.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Morning. So today we're going to talk about appraisal waivers and what that means, because what I'm seeing with offers, I mean, we obviously know that we're in a crazy market and buyers are offering, crazy things. And something that I've seen come across the table a couple times is an appraisal waiver from the lender, through underwriting, I guess, from an underwriter, basically saying, that the appraisal there's an appraisal waiver. So what does that mean from a lending perspective, and how is that different than a buyer just putting it in a contract?
Okay, great question, I'm seeing it more and more myself. So totally different than someone writing on a contract. They're waiving the appraisal. That's basically saying when the house gets appraised, I'm going to pay my offer price no matter what it appraises for.
Right.
Different from that, if somebody gets an appraisal waiver from underwriting, that means that their credit is so strong, their ratios are so low, their down payment is excellent, so it's issuing what's called an appraisal waiver from underwriting, which means the house does not have to be appraised.
Okay.
So this will benefit our buyers that have gone through this process, have gone through underwriting. They've given me all their documentation. I've punched in a potential address and what we're going to offer on the house, and we can see if it will give us an appraisal waiver. This should put us in first position to buy because we take the appraisal worrying process away from the seller. The
Right.
seller does not have to worry whether or not the house is going to appraise, because at the number we're offering, we have an appraisal waiver.
So should buyers do this like right away? Like when they get pre-approved, should they submit the documentation to you to try to get the appraisal waiver, or should they wait till it's too late when they make an offer on a house because they have like 24 hours to make an offer. So is
Correct.
it something they should do ahead of time?
Right. So what we should do is collect documentation now, meaning W-2s, pay stubs, and bank statements. I could put in everything except for an address.
Right.
At that point, when we get into a multiple bid situation, I could put in an address, put in a price, and see if we get an appraisal waiver.
Okay.
Once we get that, we can screenshot that appraisal waiver and show the seller, this buyer, even though they're competing against 6 other people, they will not have to do an appraisal on this home.
Right.
So another thing to make us stronger, just like maybe paying the transfer tax, or telling the seller we're not going to beat them up over home inspection issues, or letting the seller stay in the house, for a couple weeks for free. This
Right.
just adds to our strength when making an offer, because Janice, you've seen it. Last week, there was 14 offers on one house in Clark.
I know. There was, I think, one of our open houses had 70 people through it. I mean, 70 people. Like,
Except, think about that. One person is going to get the house, and the other 60 something are going to miss out and want to
right.
buy the next house.
I know, it's crazy. So, I mean, this is just one way that you can sort of stand out, because there's so many offers and everybody's sort of offering the same thing. But if you have that appraisal waiver from the lender, it puts you, a step ahead, like you said.
The other day, a seller's agent asked me to review 2 offers in the office. One did not have a regular appraisal waiver on it. One did, and the prices were similar. So, of course, the one we went with was the one that had the appraisal waiver, because it took a level of risk out of the transaction.
Right.
So what would you do if you were a seller? Same
Right.
thing.
Right. Yeah. So, if you're a buyer, you're in the market, keep that in mind. Obviously, if you need help, contact me or Joe. We would be happy to help you and walk you through this process. But you just got to you got to stand out in this market because it's tough.
Well, you got to work. I say this all the time. You got to work with 2 professionals like myself and Janice. We will get you to the finish line. It may be bumpy, and it might not. It might be, you might be giving away some things you don't want to give away on an offer, but you'll thank us later on after you get the house.
Right, exactly. Thank you, Joe.
All right.
We will be back next week, so for Mortgage Monday. But hopefully, you guys found this interesting or helpful. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.
Be aggressive.
Have a good day, guys. Yes.
Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.